Hey everybody, welcome to part 2 of our discussion on the Oscars. If you missed part 1, go check it out. The link is in the description. That's where we talk about like our bottom 4. We also give our picks and predictions for the Oscars, and we have like our reactions to the winners, which is like one of my favorite parts of the video. It turned out really well in my opinion, so go check that out if you haven't already. But this is part 2. We're going to go over our top 5 as well as some other things. So remember, guys, these are spoiler discussions. If you haven't seen these movies, go check them out first. They're all the Best Picture nominees. And we also talk about like Midsummer. We're going to spoil that as well. So yeah, let's get started.
We're recording this long after the Oscars.
Almost a month.
How long has it been?
Almost a month. Monday would be a month.
I barely remember anything about the movies, so it's a really good time to pick this up and finish what we started here. Alright, okay. Joker, the funniest movie of 2019. Let's do it.
The funniest movie?
Yeah, it's hilarious. What was the funniest part of Joker for you?
Babe, it wasn't funny.
Yeah, it was. He told that great joke at the end. Remember?
Yes.
On the show, he told the great joke.
What do you get when you cross a failed... What is it?
But I thought it was a knock-knock joke because it didn't even make any sense.
It wasn't a knock-knock joke.
No.
It was like a cross two things joke.
Yeah.
Oh, he said knock-knock.
He started with that.
Oh,
but
really?
he starts to tell a knock-knock joke.
And then he's just like, what do you get when you... And I'm
Really?
like, yeah.
Wait, that was part of the same thought?
I don't think
thought that
so.
was like...
I thought it split.
Oh, you
I
think
thought
he
it was
said
a
a knock-knock
different
joke
joke
first and then...
that was really bad.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was like, knock, knock, who's there? Hello, Mrs. Anderson, your son's been hit by a drunk driver. I'm so sorry.
And the old lady was like, you can't joke about that.
That was great. That was honestly the funniest joke in the movie. Okay, alright, so...
What about when he's like, I forgot to punch out?
Oh, yeah, that was great.
No, the funniest part... Oh, I can't... We have to cut this.
What?
You have to cut this.
Why?
She's gonna say a bad word.
Oh.
No. I was going to talk about the dwarf when he's trying to get out of the apartment.
You can say dwarf.
Yeah, but it's not nice.
And
the whole-
said that makes it better.
The whole
That was
theater.
definitely
The whole theater started
supposed to be kind
laughing.
of funny.
It was so weird. I was like, he just killed a man. And he's just trying to get out. This
Yeah.
poor guy.
That was like pitiful and hilarious at the same time. Okay, so this was your favorite movie of the Best
Yes.
Picture nominees.
Yes.
Why?
Well, I loved Joaquin. He was great. Even though I don't think I've seen him in anything else, have I?
I'm walking on sunshine.
You've never seen him in anything else?
I don't think so.
You need to see her.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that.
He's
I said
great.
you need to.
Oh, I thought you meant like he was in it.
Well, he was
Yes.
in his most
Haven't-
famous role probably before this was the Johnny Cash movie, Walk the Line. Did you ever see that?
Oh, I think I have seen that.
Yeah, he played Johnny Cash.
And then her.
Yeah, her was a pretty big
Well, that's
one.
on Netflix, right?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Maybe we can watch it and talk about it.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Um,
Oh,
No!
no! Hey! Jesus. Okay.
okay. Joaquin was amazing.
What?
I didn't feel like he was acting. Like, I feel like, especially with mental health movies, I can tell they don't really know what the fuck they're talking about. Like, they haven't related to any of that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I felt like he either knew it, he had like seen it personally, or he had gone through something.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing? I just see you keep moving.
Sorry, my hair is bothering me.
So I mean, I think that's like clear. I think that it seemed like something that was, he was passionate about. But I mean, Joaquin Phoenix like kills it in every role. I don't think he's necessarily had personal experience in most of them, so
Yeah.
it's like possible, but like
I don't know.
I feel like you just hear
His
him
brother's
talk.
dead.
Yeah, that's true.
His brother's dead. His brother died.
His brother's dead.
You know.
His
Yeah, what
brother's
does that have
dead.
to do with anything? No, his brother died. So he probably has some sort of experience with like at least
Of course.
depression or grief or whatever.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, okay, so yeah, agreed. Joaquin Phoenix definitely deserved the best actor win, in my opinion. What are you shaking your head about?
I can't see you. You're gone.
Oh, we can see you.
Yep. How does it feel? You're being monitored. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Oh, okay.
There you are. You're back.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah. But what I mean, otherwise, like, did you feel like?
I thought the instrumental was great.
Oh yeah. The score.
I was like almost anytime he would start dancing to just instrumental, I'd start crying. No, I wouldn't start crying, but I'd get like teary eyed. So
yeah.
String whore.
Yeah, those were probably some of my favorite scenes of the movie.
Yeah.
For sure. That was like, it was the least funny part of the movie too. So every time he started dancing, he got a little more serious, and then the comedy picked back up afterwards. So I appreciated that.
And I mean, we gotta mention That's Life.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the song that you had on repeat for like 3 months.
It was like 3 weeks.
Was it?
Then she
Was it
found
3
another
weeks?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what her next song was.
I think I then switched to. I don't remember actually.
Yeah, me either.
Well, what did you think about it? What did you? We all watched it twice. Personally, I felt like I did not enjoy it as much the second time, unfortunately.
I feel like the second time I watched it in a setting that was just different. So.
That's true. Yeah, I felt like that might have been part of it. Like the first time it was a theater, like I really felt the energy of the crowd in there. Everybody was laughing along with all the jokes.
What is this joke you're trying to make?
It's not funny, just like Joker wasn't funny.
And no, but seriously, watching it at home it didn't feel as grandiose. I felt like that was a tonal thing that they tried to play on for sure, and at home it just felt
we
less.
Watched it in the living room with like the lights on, and like I felt like nobody was really caring.
Yeah, it just felt not as like big, you know. But I mean, overall, I think it's still a good movie. But you said you liked it more the second time, and that was presumably at home.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because she was alone and she could cry.
I didn't though. I wasn't emotional at all the second time.
Oh, I thought you were more emotional the second time.
No, I don't know. Like I didn't tear up. Like it made me more mad than anything. The second time, whereas the first time I was like, "Oh my god, that's so sad."
So you got angry at like society.
Yeah.
Society.
But then the ending made me mad too because I was like, "What is this ending like?"
See, I feel like I definitely can understand that. Like I
Like
feel
the
like the
very
second
end?
time I watched it,
Yeah, the
because
very
I
end.
knew what it was
Oh.
about. The second time,
Yeah.
I could see a lot more of it than the first time because, like, you know what I mean? Like, the second time you could see how society was treating him, whereas the first time, because you didn't see the ending or all the, I guess not the ending necessarily, but like all the events that played up to the ending. So the second time, I guess, yeah, I was more like aware of that.
Yeah. I mean, I liked personally that they made Joker like such a sympathetic and believable character at the same time, and also like a triumphant character in a way.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like when you think of the Joker, you just think of this like crazy lunatic who's like evil. Maybe not evil, but just like, well, he's evil. But you know, when you think of evil, you think like really dark. But I feel like he's just like, haha, you know, Batman, I hate you.
Fuck you, Batman.
Yeah, I just feel like he's just like.
Well, from my point of view, because like iFunny loves the Joker. Like, obviously they love Heath Ledger the most, and like they talk about how he's not really the villain, and he's more than that, and he makes a good point of how bad society treats him and others like him. So, and I've never seen any of the Batman movies or any Joker anything, so I don't really know what I was expecting.
Was definitely comparable. The Heath Ledger Joker was comparable to this Joker, but I feel like every other Joker is just like, I'm ridiculous. You know, like Jared Leto Joker, he's just freaking weird. Like, he's got these like hose and he's got a grill. And he's like
playing in a field of guns for no reason. Yeah,
it's just like so like weird, like artsy, like not artsy, but like
he was like
art, like abstract, like. But like then the Heath Ledger Joker is like a little bit more like dark, I guess, and then this one is like painting him as like an actual like person. And then obviously, like, you kind of see that the Joker is a character, not who he is.
Yeah. Like, it was like, there's a reason this guy is going through what he's going through. And you understand why he becomes what he becomes. But you're almost happy for him in like a weird way, where it's like,
you're like cheering him on.
Free, yeah. It's like this. He's given up on trying to be what he thinks he should be, and he's just doing whatever he feels like, you know, is what he wants to do. But yeah, I don't know.
I also liked the score.
And you said you liked the costumes the first time you watched it.
Oh, the color palette. Oh, okay. I like one costume.
The last one.
Yes, his last outfit is like so aesthetically pleasing.
I agree.
Like, I obviously didn't think that it deserved costume design because, like I said, it was one costume. I mean, technically, there were more than one costume, but I don't think any costume added to it like that one.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that added to it. It was just nice. You know what I mean?
It got 11 nominations. It won, like, 1?
2? 1?
What did it win?
What was it?
Score. Best actor.
Oh, score and best
actor.
Oh, it did win score?
I think it did, yeah.
Yeah.
It did, right?
Yeah, it did.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So, that was kind of weird.
Deservable.
I thought it was weird that they nominated it so many times, but then, I mean, I guess it was like, it's pretty good and everything. It's just not.
But we can't put
best
society down too bad.
Society ain't that bad. 2 out of 10. All right. Well, any final thoughts on Joker?
What a funny guy.
I love his jokes.
He's just crazy. I like that guy. He's so
Wait, we
crazy.
didn't talk about it like King of Comedy.
Yeah.
Oh, there was a quote. I wonder if I can look this up while recording. But there was a quote from the movie the second time I watched that I thought was really good. Of course, I don't have any.
Joker?
Yeah. But go ahead and talk about King of Comedy.
Well, many comparisons have been made between Joker and King of Comedy. King of Comedy was a movie released in like the 80s? Directed by Martin Scorsese, another guy on the Best Picture list.
I wonder if he thought that about Joker.
I'm sure he did. I'm sure he knew that they were making it. Because, I mean, Robert De Niro, like, there are so many similarities that are clearly like an homage. But yeah, I mean, similar premise. Guy who wants to be a comedian kind of goes crazy off the deep end. It definitely manifests itself in different ways. But yeah, completely delusional, doesn't have any connection to the real world. And, I think King of Comedy is a really great movie. I think Joker's a good movie. I don't know what else there is to say about that. What did you think? How did you think they compared?
Well, I mean, I like Joker more than King of Comedy. However, I remember when we were watching it the second time, because we watched, I don't remember what order we watched them in.
We watched Joker,
And
then King of Comedy. And then
Well, when we watched Joker the second time, I remember thinking that things that had happened in King of Comedy had actually happened in Joker. So when we were watching it, I was expecting these things that never happened, and I was like, oh, that was a different movie. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, haha.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was like literally.
I can't remember, but I have
not so similar.
In King of Comedy, did his mom actually ever show up in the movie?
No.
Okay, that's what I thought.
No, she just yelled.
Yeah, see, that I think that was a part that I had.
And every
confused.
every time we heard her, he was never on screen.
Really?
Yeah. Because I thought one of us had said, well, maybe she's dead and he's just talking for her like she's there.
Well, I was thinking maybe it was
he could
in his
also
head,
just be hearing
because
that.
like I
yeah.
do think that is a point, but I think that it was just like in his head, because a lot of like he would literally play out whole scenes and it would be the real people.
Yeah.
But clearly it wasn't actually happening or something like that, or like I don't know. He was literally imagining it.
He had those cut out.
He could totally, So he could totally be imagining his mom's voice, but we just see it from his perspective, obviously.
You know, Jerry, I'd really love to be on your show.
But yeah, I remember there was like parts that I thought were
one day I'm going to be the Irishman.
There was like the part where he was like practicing in King of Comedy. He was like practicing to be on the show down below in his basement or whatever. And I thought that was like part of the Joker, like him like acting it out. And there was a part where he kind of practiced it.
Oh yeah.
But then also I didn't remember that in Joker the studio had contacted him to be on the show.
Yeah.
I thought that he had like tried to get into contact with them first, but that happened in King of Comedy, obviously.
That was a part that really bothered me about the movie.
Joker?
I don't understand. Like, I can't reconcile the first length of the movie, whatever, up until that point with that phone call. Like, I don't get... I feel like any late-night talk show would completely ignore something like that. well, they might show it, and make fun of it a little bit. But why would they invite him on? It just
I mean,
felt like
Ellen does
such
that all the time, though.
I guess.
Remember, like,
guess that's
Wrinkles?
Wrinkles?
The clown?
Yeah.
He was
We're
like...
gonna move on to Wrinkles now.
No, like, he was at least talked about on Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, though. They
just talk about
to them.
him. Yeah.
They don't invite those people on.
Well, you couldn't invite Wrinkles on. He's a character. Not real.
True. All right.
Interesting fact. I have two things. I found the quote, but I listened to Lore, as y'all know, and I was listening to an episode, and I can't remember what it's called, of course, but it was like talking about asylum, because asylums are like set for a bunch of horror movies and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the asylum that's always in like the Batman, or the hospital that's in the Batman movies, I can't remember the name of it, is actually a real asylum built by someone. So like
which Batman movies?
Well, it was in Joker. They refer to the hospital as I believe it's the same hospital. Like, they refer to this hospital as the same one in each Batman movie.
Like Arkham?
Yes, Arkham.
Mm-hmm.
It's an asylum.
Mm-hmm.
And
and
they took that. And maybe I can find the podcast and send it to you, because there's like a bunch of stories and stuff behind it.
Interesting.
Have you watched Lore on Amazon?
No. I want to, but the fact is, I looked at it because I was listening to them when it came out, and he was like putting it all over his podcast. And I was like, oh, that'd be really cool. So I went to go look at it, and a lot of the episodes sounded the exact same as the podcast episodes. And I was like, oh, I don't really have an interest in watching it rather than hearing it.
I guess that's like fair if you've already listened to them. Like, there's not really any point in re-listening, even though there's a visual.
That's literally the only reason I won't buy his books, is because I think they're just the same episodes are in his books.
Oh, that's...
Really?
Yeah. I don't want to say that's lame, but that's kind of lame.
I don't know if that's true, but I haven't really looked into it. But I think like his first one I looked into, and it sounded like a lot of the one of the seasons I listened to.
Let's see. I don't have a list in front of me.
I don't either.
Next?
I do.
Okay.
Oh, let me read the quote.
Oh, nice.
The worst part about having a mental illness is people expect you to behave as if you don't.
Oh, yeah.
I loved that
quote. What part was that?
I think wasn't that in his journal?
He's scribbling in his journal. They never say it, but he just writes it down.
Yeah.
Okay, next is Little Women.
Little Women. I'll step
Speaking
back
of Little Women, Yvonne, the other day.
Nice.
Oh, she got that cover.
For reference, Elizabeth just held up a copy of Little Women.
What
and it's a beautiful cover.
What are those?
I don't know what they're
called. Look on the little spine. Look on the spine on the bottom.
Word Cloud Classics.
A Word Cloud Classics.
It's orange
edition.
with a purple lining, and it's got all of their names. And
All right. What I'd like to say was just that the other day, Yvonne is my coworker who has a heavy Spanish accent. Her primary language is
seems
Spanish.
heavy. I was like,
she seems heavy.
She has a thick Spanish accent, because that's her like primary language. She can speak English, but you can't really understand her. But she said like she was telling a story about hanging out with her friend, and she was like, and we went to the movies, and I was like, oh, what movie did you see? And she was like, Little Women, and I was like, did you like it? And she was like, so good. And she was like, I love it. And like we were talking about movies, and she was like, I love a drum. She was calling dramas drums. But yeah, she was like, awesome. I like romance and drama. She was cute.
Okay, so I've been reading the book. I'm a big book person, obviously. I'm not that far into it because I've been watching a lot of TV rather than reading. But this is one thing that I can't stand about adaptations is they change the littlest details that I feel like wouldn't make any difference if you would have kept it the same. So Margaret was the oldest. Joe was next, then Beth, then Amy. Why did that matter? In the movie, Beth was the youngest, and I'm like, why? I don't get it.
God,
all of their talents. All of their talents are the same. Everything like that was the same so far.
The only thing I can think is once you read it, there might be further differences that the movie changed. That if that was the case, it would have been not right in the movie. But like, I can't really think of what it would have been.
Okay, I'm having trouble remembering their names. So Beth.
Well, it's Meg, not Margaret. Oh. Right? No. Right?
Yeah, I think it was Meg.
But they're like, I mean, Beth is technically Elizabeth. Joe's Josephine.
Mm-hmm.
But it's Meg, not Margaret, but her real name's Margaret.
Okay.
Amy is Florence.
Amy. So she was...
Yeah,
in the movie, she was...
The second
youngest.
In the book,
she was the
youngest.
Oh. Interesting. Well... I have no idea. I have no idea why they would have changed that.
Well, like I said, maybe if you read the whole book, you'll know. But let us know.
It's possible.
I mean, that also
there was like a lot of romantic stuff with her. Maybe she was like, maybe they thought it'd be creepy if she was a certain age or something.
Well, let me tell you their ages. So Meg was 16, Joe was 15, Beth was 13, and Amy. It doesn't say her age, but I assume she's 12.
Okay.
In the movie, I feel like it was pretty similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, okay, that's another interesting thing. None of us had read the book before we watched the movie.
I read like 2 chapters, and I didn't even catch that. I totally forgot that Amy was the youngest. I had to assume Beth was.
Yeah, I mean, let's see. Well, just sort of generally, like, I mean, we saw it in a theater. Did you see it in the theater? Mm-hmm. You did, yeah. I thought it was a pretty, like the directing, everybody got upset because Greta Gerwig wasn't given a nod.
Yeah.
And... I don't know if, like, it was deserved necessarily, but I thought it was great. The directing definitely made for a really cinematic experience. Like, in the theater, it really felt like I was watching a movie when I was, like, 5 years old, Like...
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have this experience, but when I was like a kid watching movies, every single movie I watched felt like so exciting in that like cinematic way where it really drew you into it.
I was literally smiling the whole time like a freaking weirdo.
Yeah.
Like I was just like
yeah.
that is such a good scene, like over like nothing.
Yeah.
I just felt like it was like refreshing, whatever you want to say, because it was like so. I don't want to say it was old fashioned just because it was like set in an old time, but it's just like it was just kind of like made you feel like a kid, like you said, like oh this is like a classic, like it felt like a classic.
Absolutely.
Rather than a 2020 movie. I mean, 2019.
Don't get ahead of yourself.
I watched it in 2020, but don't get ahead of yourself. It didn't feel like a movie that just came out. Like, it felt like a classic. Like,
I agree.
This movie that I would have watched as a kid. Like, that my mom would have watched as a kid and liked.
Definitely. Yeah.
Like, I feel like any age... Like, Yvonne's, like... probably in her 50s or whatever, and she liked it, you know what I mean? And she's
Yeah.
like an older lady, like.
Who's Yvonne? Oh, never mind. I missed it. I missed her first name totally.
Yeah, Yvonne.
Oh, Yvonne. I was said
yeah.
Vaughn. I was like, who's Vaughn?
Vaughn's my old manager.
I remember him. I was like, you still talk to Vaughn?
You know, I bet Vaughn would have liked it too. Anyway.
Okay, who was your favorite out of the daughters?
Joe.
I am tied. I'm between Joe and Beth.
I feel like they didn't give Beth enough.
The whiny one?
No, that
was Amy.
Flo. Oh.
Why do you act like you know her?
Babe,
Flo.
do you like the name Florence?
What is this? Stop doing this. Kind of.
It reminds me of Florence and the Machine.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it also reminds me of Flo from Progressive.
Beth was the dead one.
She wasn't dead until the end.
She never spoke.
Yeah, she didn't.
She was shy. That's her thing.
Yeah.
Shy and playing the piano.
I
But
mean,
she
her
gave that old
relationship
man
with the
a
old
heart.
man, that
That's
was
me.
great. Yeah.
That's me.
Their relationship definitely made me teary-eyed once or twice. Yeah.
And
I
then
remember when you cried.
I cried. I think I cried multiple times. But
Oh, I did. Especially when, I don't remember his name, but Joe's professor from, where was she working at, New York? Comes and visits.
It wasn't her professor, but he was up. Professor.
He was, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
Yeah. And he's like, who plays piano? I was like, none of your business.
It's bad. She's dead.
Oh, yeah.
I got so mad. I was like, don't you dare touch that piano. And then they let him. I was so mad.
Yeah.
Well, they said that it was nice, which was also kind of teary-eye-ish. Like, we haven't
Oh,
heard
yeah, I
piano in
bawled.
so long.
Yeah, that was cute. Yeah.
I mean, I
Oh.
cried when the guy professors loved her, and she was like, I just don't think I can do
Oh,
that.
yeah. I cried too.
Mm.
Oh, and then her speech bawled my eyes out.
With the,
Women don't need to be loved, but I'm so lonely. Oh, I
Yeah.
lost it.
Mm-hmm.
Was that when she was writing the letter to him?
No.
Well, that part I think I cried too.
Yeah.
When she
part.
wrote him a
yeah.
letter, and then he
Yeah.
came back and he was engaged or
Mhm.
married. Were they already married or
I
just
think they had
engaged?
already gotten
I think they were
married.
married.
Yeah.
And then she ran out and grabbed the letter, and I was like, no, I was hoping he would have
Yeah.
seen it or something, but but there was just
That was
no turning
that
back.
was such a movie moment.
Mhm,
Yeah.
I just haven't seen a movie in so long that had so many movie moments in it, but was still really good.
Yeah.
You know?
And then the part where because I said this to Logan, and then I was like, well, maybe you don't understand because you don't have sisters. Was that this movie that I was talking
I
about?
think so.
Or maybe it might have been another movie.
Dialogue.
No, it was the part where, oh my gosh, this part got me. The part where what's her name? Amy.
Mhm.
Florence. Amy
Flo.
burned. Flo. Where Amy burned her book and then almost died.
Oh my gosh.
And Joe, obviously got over everything that instant. And I was like, I don't want to say it's relatable, but it's so relatable. If you, I mean, at least if you've had a sister, I don't know if that's the same with brothers, but
Oh, me and Alex had that.
yeah, I guess it just depends on your relationship with your siblings in general. It's just that is so true. And but a lot of things in there, I was just it made me think of having a sister. It was relatable, even though it was from a different time period, obviously. The part where Amy was she told him, I can't remember his name, Timothy Chalamet's character?
Timothée.
Teddy?
Teddy.
When he asked her
Or
to
Laurie?
yeah, when he
Whichever
asked Flo, I can't think of her as anything else now. I should never said that. When he told like Amy like, oh, I want to marry you, blah blah blah, and she was like, no, I don't want to be. I'm always like Joe's second
Yeah.
after Joe.
Yeah.
See
Oh,
that scene, I didn't think they'd get together because of that
Yeah,
scene.
me too.
I was
But then and then she like turned him down, and she was like, I just said no to blah 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 blah, and then her aunt was like, have you lost your mind? I don't remember exactly, but like, because she had always loved him. And then, I mean, but he was so meant to be with Joe. Sorry.
Me and Kaylina disagreed on this. I hated him. I
loved him.
I was back and forth the whole fucking movie.
I thought he was such a douchebag.
Same. I was like, Joe, what are you doing?
No.
Stop trying.
Why are y'all all interested in this dude? And why is he trying to fuck all of y'all at once?
First of all, he was attractive. And, like, he was, like, charming.
I will say, I didn't think he was that attractive until Amy sees him in Paris. And I'm like, ooh, who is that? And she's like,
that was
it's
in the
Laurie.
beginning. That was the first time we're introduced to him.
No.
Mm-hmm. Then they do a flashback of who he
until
is.
the first time I saw him.
I thought that was like, I thought it was later.
Well,
oh, I'm sorry.
the first time she sees him, she's on the carriage, and she's like,
yeah.
"Stop the carriage!"
No, Joe sees him
time.
before.
No, that's how they introduce him, and then they do a flashback of like, because we're kind of like, who the hell is Laurie? Like, oh, maybe there was a romance between them. But then they flash back and you find out that the romance was between him and Joe. Well, I mean, obviously that takes the whole movie to figure that out. But, like, I mean, you know what I mean.
I don't remember
she
that
had
for some
said
reason.
sorry about what Joe did or whatever.
Yeah. See, that's why because I remember thinking, obviously they're not together because he's in Paris, because she's in Paris. But I remember seeing them together.
I don't think so. I think that you're thinking of it chronologically.
Yeah,
your brain put it together correctly.
I doubt that.
Yo, though, can we talk about the book scene?
Oh my gosh! As a graphic designer, that was a nut.
Which part?
When they were actually making the book
and embossed the book and all
that was like
that was so satisfying.
Yeah, that was like one of those
they
YouTube
were using
videos.
a letterpress and they like bound it, and I know how to do that, so it was like even crazier.
I was full.
Kaylina was like, and then next.
Yeah, I was like, next step, you do this with the... No, and then they, like, leather bound it. Oh,
and then they wiped it, and it was like...
Oh, my gosh, that's, like, the stamp or whatever they did. With the gold. Didn't they put, like, gold?
It was, like,
and then,
gold,
that
and
right
it was
there, I
all
was like...
nasty, and then they wiped it off.
That right there, I was like, I'm gonna write a book.
I'm gonna write a book, and then buy a letterpress, and then letterpress my own book.
And watch it.
Dude, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
To letterpress your own book. There's letterpresses in Asheville.
Overall,
and probably New York.
This was one of my favorite ones. Really liked it. Expected to hate it.
I think that was like another thing was like when you expect to love a movie and then you don't like it as much, then you kind of like hate it more. But when you expect to like be bored by a movie and it like literally is so good,
It blows you away.
that's like even better.
Judy.
Like
For sure.
yeah,
Judy.
I mean, we still have to see that.
Yeah.
But that's like how Little Women felt to me. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I was
like,
excited to see it because I was like,
I wasn't, because I thought it was gonna be a chick flick. I was like, oh.
Well, see, that's why I wanted to see it. I was like, oh, finally they put like a romance, like a chick.
I mean, how do you define chick flick?
Well, no.
It still was.
No, it's technically no.
I would still consider it to be, but I still love
It's
like I don't like most chick flicks.
Romance. It's basically just a romance, and I was like, oh, it's going to be a romance, and I was like,
romance.
nobody's letting me talk.
Speak. Or forever hold.
I wanted to see it because I was like, okay, good. It's going to be like a romance in the Oscar movies. Like, it's going to be a little bit different. Although, well, Marriage Story wasn't really a romance, but like, that was probably the closest thing to a romance, I guess.
Not really.
Anyways, so I was excited, but then
for Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
JoJo was a little bit of a romance.
Yeah. Very different, but very cute.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I was excited for it, but then once we got to actually going, I kept like, no, let's watch something else. No, like I remember we were like going to the movies all the time, and I was like, I'll watch something else. We can watch that later, and I just like wasn't actually like excited to watch it. I was just kind of like not. I don't know. I wasn't dreading it, but I wasn't like I wasn't. What's it called when you're like dying to see it? I wasn't dreading it, but I wasn't dying to see it.
Yeah.
And then I was expecting, even though I expected it to be good, I expected it to be boring. There are good movies that are boring.
Yeah.
It was not boring.
And it was just talking pretty much.
Yeah, which somebody that you listen to on YouTube talked about that. However they did it. Whatever they did. I'm sorry, it's late. Whatever they did, they basically took a completely dialogue-based movie and made it not boring at all.
It's good writing.
And I didn't even think about it until whoever you listened to said that. Probably Adam or something.
Whispers his name.
I mean, Adam.
Could be any Adam, technically.
Exactly, so it's not that weird. But anyways, Adam, babe.
What?
No, it's just a light.
What are you seeing?
I thought that you put a dirty dish in the clean dishwasher.
No,
It's just a
I
light.
saw that too actually earlier, but no.
So Adam,
And he was like, babe.
Adam said something about about like every scene had so much movement and flow to it, even though they were just having a conversation. It was like engaging to the audience, not just like obviously the people having a conversation. Like,
well, it kept it visually interesting.
It was visually interesting, so that you didn't get bored while listening. Just listening to characters talking to each other that's like usually the most boring part of a movie is like the dialogue heavy scenes. The whole
usually
movie
because
dialogue.
they're just explaining things.
Yeah, it's just like static. It's just like
40 years ago the machines took over.
That's not a dialogue scene.
What? That's dialogue. What are you talking about?
That's like a narration.
No, I'm saying two characters in a room and one of them is saying that to the other. Like
Kyle Reese.
Yeah.
Not like Sarah Connor in the beginning.
No, that would be like 40 years ago, the machines took over.
You haven't seen Terminator, have you?
Nope.
Girl. That's on my list, so to show you. So I showed Logan already because it's actually one of my favorite movies.
But yeah, I mean, the dialogue should be telling you things about characters and the plot at the same time. And that's what the movie did.
Didn't it win costume design?
He threw it, and the ball went to him. What?
If it did, I have something to say about that, because I hated almost everything Amy wore. I was like, that looks terrible. Like, what is she wearing? But everything Joe wore, I was like, oh yeah. I looked back at pictures. She's wearing like the dirtiest, simplest dress.
Yeah.
The whole time I was just thinking
Amy's
like
in Paris wearing like nice ass clothes.
I mean, I liked some of Amy's outfits, but like I definitely liked when they were at home their like poor outfits because they looked like they were handmade. Like they looked like they made them. I
will say when she's waiting, I don't know what she's like waiting by the road for the carriage or their aunt or something, and she's dressed in all black. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I liked that outfit. I liked that outfit. There was an outfit that she was wearing that was like blue or something that I really liked. Actually, it was
I think that's the one she's talking to
Lori.
Teddy, and she's like, don't tell me that marriage isn't a whatever.
Yeah, a transaction.
Yeah.
I liked that outfit because she was wearing an apron because she was painting.
She was painting.
And then she like took it off and she didn't she ask him to help her get dressed?
Oh yeah.
Or
She
like, help
asked him
her
to
tie it
untie
up.
her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I remember like when she took it off and I thought I was like, oh, I like that outfit.
It was an interesting sex scene for sure.
Paintbrushes involved.
They had sex with their eyes.
Mm-hmm. That's what Lori was always doing.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Emma Watson's performance was a little boring.
Well, apparently she was like the worst one on the set or something.
She just felt like she
I've heard
wasn't
that.
acting very hard.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, well, I've
I
heard
also
that she
feel
felt
like
like
she
was
didn't really have a
above
story
everyone else.
though.
Mm.
She
A
didn't.
little bit.
I mean, all she was there was to. Well, see, her story was that she married for love instead of money.
Instead of money, and that in the end she still
got
stays with
upset
him.
and he was like, "Darling, I'll buy you the dress. We can lose all of our money as
I
long
don't
as
need
you're
it.
happy."
I don't need a coat. I'll get pneumonia.
That was sweet though. That part might have made me cry too.
I'm pretty sure it might have made me cry, or at least
It didn't make me cry. I was like, duh. Return the fabric.
No, I was. Yeah. Well, see, I think I might have teared up when she couldn't have what, or she felt that she couldn't have what she wanted because, like, of the financial thing. And, you know, like, obviously, we kind of are experiencing that right now. And I'm just like.
In this country?
Yeah, like, we're marrying for love and not money.
Yeah.
Same.
No, and. Right?
At this point, I'm just going to marry for money.
I mean, better than nothing.
Damn. Okay.
You made it sound like you're like 40 and never married. Like, at this point, I'm
I'm
just
going to
gonna
marry someone who's 40.
Okay, anyways. So, yeah, it was like, oh, man, I feel that. And then, like, in the end, obviously, she, like, sold it because, like, she wanted to make him happy, but then he wanted to make her happy, so it was like, oh my gosh, so cute. Like, they really are in love. Like, well, obviously, but, like, they both were, you know, when you do, like, I read this thing the other day that was, like, the girl went off to college, and then, like, literally a few hours after she left, the guy went to go to her dorm and visit her, but when he went, she wasn't there. And when he came back, she was at his place. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, that's cute.
Like,
yeah, that's funny.
It's kind of like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can have the dress, but I already sold the fabric. Oh!
Why are you buying double the fabric?
Oh, I'm making 2 dresses.
Yeah, good movie. That's a great movie.
What else? Laura Dern. She didn't win for this movie, but I love her.
But 2 very different roles, and I think she killed both of them.
Yeah, she did. She did.
She's
what was
such
her
a
name?
mom.
Marma or something?
Marmy.
Marmy. That's it.
I love that scene when Lori's in their house for some reason. I can't remember what, and they're all like rumbling around, and she's like, "Just call me Marmy." Everyone does, and I'm like,
when somebody sprained your ankle.
Yeah, they bring her back from the dance.
Yeah, when she said,
Lori met her.
Yeah, and when she was like, everyone calls me Marmy, I was like,
everyone?
So your kids? Is that all you talk to?
Yeah.
It was funny.
All right. What's the next movie?
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Once Upon a Time. I had a lot of things to say.
Okay.
I'm not starting.
Go. If you have the most to say, start.
No, I don't know what I have to say.
We watched it. It had been the second time for y'all, or the third?
Yeah, it was the second time for us.
And the first time for me.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea what it was about, which I will say the only reason I wanted to see it was a Tarantino movie and it was Oscar nominated. I'd seen the trailer so many times, still had no idea what it was about.
It
Which made me so mad.
like.
I didn't, because I was like, what am I seeing? Like,
No,
what are they even talking about?
trailers. Honestly, me and Logan didn't watch the trailers, but I had caught some glimpses.
Cotton.
It should be a word, just like botan.
I agree. Cotton. It is a word. Cotton.
I had cotton, C-O-T-T, I spelled it wrong.
You did.
We had seen some, like...
Glimpses, you said.
Like, in the theater, you can't escape it.
Yeah.
I had seen some scenes.
Leaves the
Yeah.
theater.
You just
I
go, we try to go like
eyes and
this, but,
ears.
like, sometimes you just catch it, and so...
I'll pull one of these.
I just saw that it was a bunch of, like... And then I think I actually might have ended up watching it one time because I was like, honestly, it gives nothing away.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Whatever. But yeah, it didn't. It didn't give anything away, but it made you. Well, it honestly didn't even make me interested. I was only interested because, okay, I was interested because it was a Tarantino movie. So I didn't even know it was an Oscar movie. But I was interested because Brad Pitt and Leo, like,
Yeah.
and even Margot. I kind of like Margot.
Margot.
Margot Robbie, Harley Quinn.
Sharon Tate.
Well, yeah, but Harley
She was
Quinn
Sharon
is
Tate?
her most famous role. Yeah. Sharon Tate was Harley Quinn.
In what?
And Harley Quinn is Sharon Tate.
In Harley Quinn, in Birds of Prey,
Oh, I
and
haven't seen
Suicide
it.
Squad.
I haven't seen anything about it.
Well, yeah, but you have to have seen, if you know what Jared Leto's
Are you
Joker
familiar
looks
with
like.
Suicide Squad?
I haven't seen
She
Suicide
hasn't
Squad.
seen it.
Yeah, but you've seen the hot Harley Quinn with the
You know, like Daddy's
short
Little
shirt.
Monster or whatever the fuck.
with the
Harley
baseball bat and the,
Wait.
I was gonna be
Oh
her
my
for
God.
Halloween.
you just can't.
It's just
think
like,
of
okay,
it.
you know what Jared Leto from Joker looks like, right?
Not
Yeah,
from
but
Joker.
only because we watched that clip after Joker, and Logan kept making fun of the.
You don't know. Harley Quinn is out there just like any pop culture
I mean, I
thing.
know what Harley Quinn is, but I hadn't seen her play Harley Quinn.
Okay,
Have you
that's like
seen
not.
pictures?
Yeah, like
No.
that's like not having seen
What?
like Tom Holland as Spider-Man if you haven't seen the movie. Everybody's seen Tom Holland as Spider-Man.
Yeah, but that's just.
But he
a
looks
suit.
exactly the same person.
No, like with the head showing.
Really? You think everybody's seen that? Even if
Maybe
they're...
I used a bad example, okay?
Yeah, that's not a good
Yeah.
example.
Everybody's seen.
Jaws.
Nope.
No.
I haven't seen that.
Everybody's seen Arnold Schwarzenegger as the Terminator,
That's true.
even if you haven't seen
But
the
it's still
Terminator.
half of Arnold. It looks
Well,
just
Harley
like
Quinn
Arnold.
Harley Quinn is still Sharon Tate. Is still Margot Robbie. She just got pink and blue in her hair and a sexy outfit.
I thought she's has white makeup and shit on.
Yeah. Harley Quinn, yeah.
Suicide Squad Harley Quinn does?
Yeah. I think so.
Hold
Okay,
on.
I feel like you should just Google a picture and then be like, no, I've never seen this in my life. Or like, oh, okay, I
Yeah.
just was forgetting.
What are we talking about? Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
In Hollywood.
We were talking about why we wanted to see the movie. I said because of Margot Robbie.
Tarantino.
I didn't say because of Margot Robbie. I said because of Leo, Brad, and
Leo.
Margot. And then she said, who's Margot? That's how we got in this conversation.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I follow all of Tarantino's films. One of my favorites. But I mean, that's not surprising.
That's one of your favorites?
Quentin Tarantino?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's one of my favorite directors.
No. Is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood your favorite? One of your favorite Tarantino movies?
It's mine.
I don't know. I honestly haven't ranked them.
I don't like. Okay.
It's your favorite?
I haven't seen
Okay.
all of them, which
Really?
is my problem. But
Well, here's the thing. I need to rewatch any
you just
that I
love
haven't.
Brad and Leo.
Yes. I need to rewatch.
Pulp Fiction.
All right, I need to rewatch all of them that I have seen and watch all of them that I haven't seen. But I did not like Pulp Fiction. I
All
didn't
of
like
them.
Kill Bill.
You don't like Kill Bill?
I didn't like Kill Bill.
Bill's so
I
good.
didn't like.
I haven't seen Pulp Fiction.
I feel like that's all. I mean, I liked Django. What else have I seen? I mean, I didn't like Hateful Eight, but I watched that after Once Upon a
Oh,
Time.
I loved Hateful Eight.
Wow.
I didn't like Hateful Eight. I don't want to say like, oh, I didn't like it, but it's not
See,
something
I
I'd
like-
watch again ever.
Wow.
I actually liked what was that crazy movie we watched? Not Unbreakable. That's
Proof?
Death Proof. I actually liked Death Proof.
Yeah. That's a good one.
What else have I seen? Start listing some.
Inglourious Basterds.
Yeah, that one was okay.
I've always loved that movie.
That one was
It's probably my
okay.
favorite.
Stephanie loves that movie.
That one might be like, it would probably be higher up. I don't know. See, my thing is, all right, I have a few things to say. See, I told you I have a lot to say.
I thought it was going to be about this movie, though.
It's about Quentin. And then we'll get into it. You gotta know about
Are you on
Quentin.
first name basis with everyone?
Quentin.
Cute man.
Flo.
Flo.
You know Quentin.
Can we talk about how Flo wasn't nominated for
Midsummer?
Oh,
We
There we
might
go.
have already talked about that
We did.
in
Alright.
our last time.
we need to get back
Oh,
to
I don't know
that.
if we did that.
So, what was I saying? Quentin.
I don't know.
Quentin.
Yes, your man.
You know, Quentin.
Quentin has basically, I think he's overrated.
Wow.
Not necessarily that he's not good, that
Controversial.
people are so obsessed with him. And I think that when I watch his movies after people have talked such good things about him, I watch them and then maybe I'm just not like personally into his style or like into whatever his writing. I don't know. But when people hype up a movie so much and then I watch it and it didn't like do that to me, I'm like, what? Like, what? Like, that's how Pulp Fiction was. I was like, what the heck is this movie? That everybody was obsessed with it, especially the time that I watched it, because it was like what, freshman year of college, and I was just learning about like stuff like that, and I was just like, everybody loved Pulp Fiction, and I was like so excited to watch it. I watched it, and I was like, that movie was stupid. Maybe now that I'm like have been with you for a few years, I would watch it and like it more because you've introduced me to weird stuff. So maybe I feel like I might appreciate it a little bit more. Kill Bill, I watched when I was like a kid, so like I definitely would need to rewatch that to see if I like it.
It's my favorite kids movie.
Okay, when I was like, when I say kid, I mean like just young. I didn't mean like a child. It was also my sister that showed me, not my parents. So like,
My dad just sat me down and forced me to watch
No.
Kill Bill.
it was my sister. She was like, this movie's
Oh,
so good.
Mark.
She also let me watch Scary Movie probably before I should have. I mean, I guess I wasn't too young, but my parents wouldn't have approved.
Age is just a number.
Honestly, it's maturity. Like I said, I don't think I was too young, but my parents would have not been okay with it. Anyways, so like all these movies that people are obsessed with, and I watch them, and I'm just like, this is not as good as I like expected.
I would agree with you.
So,
I think Quentin Tarantino has like a rabid fan base and a lot of them aren't even like that into his movies either. A lot of it is just like cult following.
mhm.
People are just so excited about something that they don't even know why they like it
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
anything. He makes fun movies. Like he makes goofy, like movies with goofy dialogue that are really entertaining. That's what's great about Quentin Tarantino. And he doesn't make movies like anybody else. That's awesome. You know, that's why I love him. But like he's not like I don't know what to like he's not Stanley Kubrick, you know. He's not out here making like masterpieces every time. It's just like fun movies, and that's great.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I feel like you can definitely see, like, if you watched a movie and didn't know anything about it, you could like pick his out of a lineup. Like,
For sure.
which is like a good thing, I guess. Like kind of like M. Night Shyamalan, because he was the one I accidentally referenced. Like you can kind of be like, wow, that was an M. Night Shyamalan movie, for sure. That plot twist though. But I liked Django. I don't know what makes me like a movie more than others, obviously, but like I liked Django, and then this one I really liked. I don't know why. I mean, honestly, like there were, I don't know. I think it was just like the whole time I was like, okay, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? And then the payoff was actually good, in my opinion. Like. I hate when that happens, when it's just like, what's gonna happen, and then nothing freaking happens.
Yeah, it's all of a sudden like directed by.
And you're like, what in the world? But this one, it was like the last, 20 minutes was just like
so satisfying.
So good. And it was just like, oh my gosh, it's been building all this
when
stuff
he just
up.
slams that woman's face into the
Dude, and he's tripping on acid.
No. The best part of that movie was, man, we just had 3 people break in. Well, he killed 2 of them, and I torched the 3rd.
Yes, exactly.
And he's like, wait, with the flamethrower from the 14 Fists of McCluskey?
That was the best part. That was the best part of that movie.
Mm-hmm. And then I like, okay, so I was kind of like Elizabeth, where I was very confused at the ending, but I was just like, oh, it was good. And then my mom started talking about Sharon Tate, and like I didn't know what happened with her.
I didn't recognize her name at all.
No. Well, I just didn't know anything about that story, but some people know about it. Like,
see, if I would have recognized her name, I'd probably be like, oh.
You probably would have called the whole movie. Which my who was I sitting next to? My dad or my mom?
I think so.
I think. My somebody.
I think
it was my dad. He said, "Oh, that's blah blah," and he said Charlie
Manson.
Yeah, and he said like he called him something, and I was like, "Oh," and then Logan asked me what he said, and I was like, I don't know, because I didn't think that it was important, and I was like, whatever. But then, like afterwards, I find out no, my dad was saying he's Charlie Manson, and that would have like totally changed my view of the whole movie. Yeah. Like I didn't freaking know, and like so this was a cult, which it was kind of obvious that it was cultish.
Yeah.
Like you could tell that there was some cult shit going on.
I may be making this up, but did they make a Kool-Aid joke?
I don't know. I don't remember.
I'm trying to think.
Cause that's
Jim Jones? Is that what you're talking about?
Hold on. My computer's being weird.
Did Jim Jones happen before?
Oh, I don't know.
Charles Manson?
I'm not sure.
I can't remember.
I think so, but let me look it up.
Honestly, the first time we watched the movie, like, we got done with it, and I was like, I really feel like I'm going to enjoy this movie more the second time I watch it. But I felt like nothing had happened the entire time until, like, the last 15 minutes.
But then you watch it a second time and you realize.
Exactly. That's what happened. Like, the second time I watched it, I realized how many just amazing scenes are all throughout the movie. Like, the ranch scene is incredibly memorable and great. The Bruce Lee fight scene, you know, like...
It's all characterization.
I love that scene.
It's all, like... It's all building up to something and you just don't know what. And that's why I'm saying, like, the whole time I knew... I was, like, waiting, like, something...
Yeah.
No, Charles... Okay, Charles Manson... That's what I thought. Charles Manson was before...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because was it Jonestown or Jamestown?
Jonestown.
Jonestown's massacre was in 78.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I thought it was also great how they, like, set up this relationship between an actor and his stunt double. Like, that was really cute.
Yeah.
You know, because it's probably so accurate, you know?
Yeah.
these people who have to work really closely together at all times. So, why wouldn't they be often like
Brad's
good
speech.
friends?
I'd ride your coattail any day.
Oh, yeah. That was great.
I was like, oh no.
Oh, and his dog.
Oh.
His dog was one of my favorite parts of the movie.
I had something. Oh, I liked. I don't remember if we talked about this at all, but like I liked that it was like based on a true story, super loosely, and then they like didn't just. I mean, kind of like. I mean, I'm not comparing it to Jojo Rabbit, but like Jojo Rabbit was based on like the Holocaust, and like these are things that could have happened, but it was like a totally just like, fictional characters and stuff. But this was like they took these real people, Sharon Tate, and then just added these random ass neighbors. I don't know why.
It's fine.
They just add these random neighbors, and then they changed the stories. And like, well, instead of going to Sharon Tate, they went to these people first, and they killed the shit out of them.
Yeah.
Like, it was
Well,
so
it's also,
good.
it can be compared to Inglourious Bastards. Like,
That's a good point.
like Tarantino likes to do that, where it's like, what if I make a period piece, but I make it ridiculous and extremely satisfying and not at all how things
Exactly, because like, and that's the other thing is like the satisfying thing. It wasn't a sad ending; it was a good ending.
Yeah.
Like they killed the cult people,
Mhm.
and then they become friends with Sharon Tate, and it's like, and these are like Sharon Tate's a real actress, whereas these people are fake. Like Leo's character isn't real,
Yeah.
like in real life, but they made a real. I don't know. It's like a
Yeah.
merging of two worlds. I love it.
It's like the same thing. It's like,
Well, I can't remember
what if-
Inglourious Bastards.
what if a powerful team of Jews were the ones who have killed Hitler?
Exactly.
Like, that's such a great like twist and so satisfying. you know?
Buddy,
Hey,
there's a blanket. Put a
Bud.
blanket for you.
come on. But yeah, solid movie, great cinematography,
Great acting.
great writing,
Great set design.
great score.
Oh yeah.
Score.
Set design was good.
Yeah. What's next?
Wait, no, we are not done. We talked about Little Women for way too long to not talk about this one.
What did it win?
Brad Pitt.
Actor in a supporting role.
It won Brad Pitt.
All that matters.
I think it won set design,
I want to say it did.
but I can't remember.
I think it did. I think you're right. Production design.
Or production design. Hold on, I'll just look it up.
Oh my gosh, wait, what number are we on right now? 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have 2 more.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait to start over.
Well, don't spoil it.
I could talk about that movie literally like
Mm.
all day, every day. Dude, remember those videos that we watched on YouTube about it?
Mm.
No, that's all it won.
Oh, okay.
No,
What?
just Brad Pitt.
Nice.
What?
Yeah, I honestly thought that was the case because I remember being kind of like, that's sad, but okay.
Yeah.
You
But
know.
It got
guessed
actor in a
every-
leading role, directing, and then Best Picture.
That's it?
Oh wait, hold on.
No, it had production design too.
Hold on. There it goes. Okay. Best motion picture, directing, actor in a leading role, best original screenplay, best achievement in cinematography, costume design, sound mixing, and sound editing.
Wow.
Yeah, it had a lot too. It was up there.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, Brad Pitt won a Golden Globe for his role in that movie too.
Mm-hmm. I think I
I
already
think
knew
he
that.
won a SAG too.
He also won a BAFTA.
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 British
Yeah, I think so.
Screen Actors Guild Award.
SAG.
Oh, is that what that is?
His speech for the SAG Award,
Yeah.
for winning, is like famous now because he. We've talked about Quentin Tarantino's foot fetish.
Oh God.
Brad Pitt got up there and he started thanking people, and he was like, "I want to thank Margot Robbie, Margot Robbie's feet."
No, shut up.
Who else? He was like Dakota Fanning's feet. And he kept naming actresses' feet that was featured.
Oh my gosh, I love him. See, here's the thing. It's so funny because like
So funny.
the Oscars is like the big one, right? But he won all of these awards, so he got to make a speech at all of these things. You know what I mean? It's like, how do you like continue? You have to keep it interesting. You can't thank the same people every time you like accept that award. It just gets boring, and like they're like, okay, we know.
Drunk as shit.
It's like, you know. And at the Oscars, it was like his first Oscar, and like I said, it's the biggest one, so he made it a little bit like nice. But like I can totally see actors.
That was his first Oscar?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
I thought
Brad?
so. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. Maybe it's Reese. No, what's her name? Renee.
Renee Zellweger?
That was her first, I think.
Laura Dern's, it was her first.
I think Brad Pitt's
Pretty
first too. Google it.
I am.
Look Google it.
I was gonna say look it up.
Look Google. We should start a French version of Google called Look Google.
Oh no, he's got a lot.
No,
he's got two. He's got two.
What is his other one?
Well, no, that's not right. That doesn't make sense. Hold on. Let me just click on an article instead of reading something. Oh, that picture though. Hold on. That was funny. Oh. Wait.
He's been nominated for like 4.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, right. But it's saying he won 12 Years a Slave.
Oh,
because he produced. He produced. That's why. Yes, that's what I thought. I wanted to make sure that was right. Oh, and played a small role. I didn't know that.
Win for the role.
No.
Yeah, he was in the movie, yeah.
But he won for what? Produce?
For Best Picture.
Oh. It won Best Picture? I didn't remember that.
Mm-hmm.
So he didn't win it, he just won one.
Well, it was like they give it to the producers of the
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it wasn't like him winning.
Exactly.
I don't know. I kind of hate that about the Best Picture thing, but like.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's got a lot of nominations.
Alright, so apparently we're not done talking
No,
about
I think I'm done now.
Okay, you're done now.
We talked a little bit more.
She's done now, everyone.
Okay. The next one is Jojo Rabbit.
Jojo Rabbit.
I was so excited to watch this movie, and I was really mad because it wasn't in theaters anywhere around me. It wasn't anywhere illegal. Like I could not find it anywhere. So on my list, it was not available with the frowny face, but it did pop up somewhere at the last minute, and I watched it.
Nice. Yeah, we won't ask you where you watched it. Yeah, we saw it in theaters. I was equally excited, if not more.
I like him.
See, okay, near the end, I think they were like, what?
Taika Waititi.
That's not his name.
I think. Okay, did they have a weird showtime for y'all for that movie?
It was like midday.
Well, we watched it midday because we had things to do.
There was nothing around me, and then like a week before the Oscars, I guess they were re-releasing them.
Yeah.
So they re-released Jojo Rabbit, but it was only like 10:30 at night.
Yeah.
And I was like,
they did that for something with
I'm
us.
not gonna drive an hour away to see a 2.5 hour movie and I have to drive an hour back.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the middle of the night.
Yeah, that would be rough.
That's fair.
Yeah. Generally, this movie is cute as heck.
Oh yeah.
The freaking kid, the Nazi kid. Oh
Hitler?
my gosh. That was so. Oh,
Oh
yeah.
my gosh, it's Taika.
Yeah,
Hitler
that was the
killed
director
me.
and writer.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
so
he
funny.
He always plays in his movies.
Yeah.
It killed me. What's
Yeah,
we
he
going
was
to
awesome.
do this Jew? I don't know.
Yeah. He was like laying in his bed. And...
He jumped out
Oh
the
my
window at
gosh.
one point. I died.
Yeah.
Got to go.
that was like another movie that I was like smiling the whole time.
Yes.
Like, I just like
Yeah,
enjoyed
every
it.
scene was just so great.
And then like the ending. Oh my god.
Scarlett Johansson, that's one of my new favorite performances of
Yeah.
hers.
Me too, because I don't like her.
Yeah.
So like
the scene where she acted like his dad.
Oh
that-
yeah.
That really got me emotional. And yeah, she just had so much energy in the role. She usually is like really subtle with a lot of her roles, but this one it was like just she really stole the show. But yeah.
I mean, I also liked that all the kid actors that were good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
Oh
which
my
is,
gosh,
like, so
his
hard.
friend.
Like, yeah, like his friend. Oh my gosh, he was great.
He was, especially at the end when he shows up. He's like, I guess we're gonna go to war.
Yeah.
And I was like, they are not gonna send this 12-year-old kid to war. And he was like, I got a bazooka. And I was like, okay.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And
Logan didn't realize that. Okay, so first of all, they showed her shoes. They showed her shoes multiple times. They were clearly her shoes.
Yeah.
And Logan did not realize that it was her hanging when he started crying and hugging her legs.
Yeah.
He didn't realize it was his mom.
See,
He didn't know that his mom died like half the movie.
That's not true.
Oh.
It took me it took me
I'm not
until
gonna lie,
the little
I thought-
kid said, I'm sorry about your mom.
that made me mad though, because I was like, oh, all of a sudden you're sorry. Well, then I was like, well, he is, in the army at 12.
Yeah.
But they did show her shoes a lot. So I noticed when she was hanging, but the whole time I was like, she's not dead. There's no way she's dead. She planted those shoes. Like she's going to go into hiding or something. No. She was dead.
See, that was okay, I personally, I mean, it's like a love-hate thing, but I personally love when a movie's like not scared to kill off a main character.
Yeah.
Like, it was just like, no, she can't die. Like, she's a single mom, basically.
Mm-hmm.
A single mom. She's helping out this Jew that she doesn't even know that her son knows exists, and then it was just like she died, and I was like, no freaking way.
I mean,
And
it had to happen. For the movie to work and to tell its story, this kid has to have nothing.
Yeah.
Like, he loses everything, and all he's got left is, this girl who's a dude, At the beginning of the movie, he would have never, imagined.
Nah, he was Nazi as.
It's crazy. Oh my gosh, the Rebel Wilson and Sam Rockwell's characters.
Wait, is Sam Rockwell the instructor?
Yeah,
I loved him. When he came out,
God.
when he was showing him his costume design,
And then
he had it.
Yeah, he was wearing it at the end.
And then that one guy. Yeah.
Yeah, he saved him or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh man.
That was him.
Great.
That was the
Yeah. I forgot.
What?
It was the same person.
Oh yeah,
but
Yeah.
When he saved him.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Because that was so good.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know if I have I don't have anything to say. I feel like this movie was just cute. It was funny and it was great. It's
Yeah.
I don't have anything more complicated or like I can just gush about every scene.
Yeah. I love like Nazi World War II movies. Like
Mhm.
that's the only reason I watched. Oh, hello, Maito.
So cute. I knew you would do it eventually. Okay. You like Nazi movies?
Yeah.
Like Nazis.
Yeah. That's the only reason I watched Inglourious Bastards. Like, I didn't care for Quentin Tarantino. I just knew it was a Nazi movie, and I was like, oh, that'd be great.
I would say that, like, the World War II is one of the most interesting things in history that is portrayed. Like, I'm very bored by history, personally, but, like, and, like, war. But I love
World War.
I did a project on the Holocaust in like 9th grade. Like we had to make a board game.
I mean,
I made a Holocaust board game.
Oh my god. There's so much.
I think I did get critique on making a game out of something so dark. However, it was like a trivia game, so it was like not that bad.
But I definitely expected it to be darker.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I don't know, I loved it, but it was so different than any other movie.
The dark parts were like portrayed in very different ways. Like, first of all, like this kid like hating Jews and like writing a book. I mean, I know he's like lying about it, but like he's writing a book about like why Jews are horrible, and like he has all these misconceptions of things that he's heard from people, and like he's friends in his head with Hitler. Like those are so dark. And like they portray it
They're also like so human.
Yeah,
like that's such a kid thing.
Yeah, and especially like,
as you're growing up, you hear these things that make you imagine, you know, certain things in your life to be like scary or
yeah, and like that's the other thing is like where we I don't know, like I can't say we, but most American audiences were like born in America. We learn about the Holocaust in a very specific way. But if you were born in Germany at that time, like that was what you that was what your experience was, and like that's so interesting. And I mean they did it in a comedic way, but like it's just accurate, and like the mom dying, like it was like people were dying for being decent human beings, and like you see that she's like clearly a good person. And then she dies. Like, oh man. Yeah,
I thought his speech to the little girl about womanhood was particularly sort of moving, poignant, whatever you want to call it. I thought that was really sweet, you know?
Yeah, I did too.
Like, the ability to trust is what it means to be, you know, a grown-up or a woman or whatever. I thought that was really cute. But also to the book thing, I thought that was great because, like, it just revealed, like, you know, and you couldn't have expected any different from, like, a, 10-year-old boy. Like, he's saying he's, like, writing intelligence about Jews and how to kill them and stuff like this, and you just open it and it's like a bunch of goofy drawings and like he's just having fun in a book.
Also, for some reason, this is what I thought you were gonna say. It's based on a book.
Oh yeah.
But
I never looked that up. I think it's a graphic novel.
I think it is too. I think I looked it up.
Can we confirm it? Because when Logan told me it was based on a graphic novel, I was like, oh my gosh, like that. If I were to like see a graphic novel live, this is exactly what I would have seen. Like it was like animated almost. Like it was like, you know, like bright and funny and.
Okay, the book is called Caging Skies.
The picture of that looks so goofy.
Mm-hmm.
I'll show you.
It looks goofy.
Yeah,
Why?
I'll show you.
I don't think it's a graphic novel.
Oh,
Darn.
dang it.
It's not.
That sucks.
For some reason, I thought it was too.
Well, it's not a graphic novel.
Well,
It should
my
be.
point is kind of irrelevant then. Yeah, it's kind of like the end of the...
Let's adapt
the end
the
of the
movie
fucking
into a
world.
graphic novel.
Mhm.
Oh,
Like
God.
the end of the fucking world.
Yeah.
How that was based on a graphic novel.
Mhm.
That's like what I'm talking
I
about.
wonder if she
Yeah.
gets any money for all this.
Who's
Or is it-
Scarjo?
No. The
Oh, the
writer.
book writer.
Okay.
Or he.
Depends on if they paid her
She.
or him for copyright
That's
to
true.
use her characters and stuff.
Mm. Anything else?
What did it win?
It won Best Adapted Screenplay.
I don't know what the book was, so I can't really. I don't know if that's irrelevant. Like,
I think that's it too.
oh, ScarJo didn't win. Who won Best Actress?
Supporting Miss Laura Dern.
Oh yeah, I said I was really torn between who I wanted to win, but I was like, I'm pretty sure I guessed ScarJo for that one, but it was even though I had been talking about Laura Dern winning it like all week until I saw that movie.
I really wanted ScarJo.
So their nominees were
Yeah,
actress in a supporting role, costume design, film editing, production design, and writing adapted screenplay, and they only won the adapted screenplay.
Yeah.
So I don't really know if like the best adapted screenplay means like it was adapted the best, or it's just like the best out of these adapted ones.
I think it's just the best. Like, I don't think it's.
Based
I don't
on...
think they read those books and stuff.
I don't think they do either.
I don't either,
I
but
think
like
it's just one. I think it's just separating them into categories so
Yeah.
they can give more awards away.
I mean,
Also
I
because
think-
adaptation's so common. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense. I was just wondering if it was like the best adaptation or just of these movies that were all adaptations. This is the best
yeah.
because it was good. It was the best.
It was the
Obviously.
I don't know what else there was, but it was really good.
best. Are we at number one?
We're at number 1
Uh-oh.
with 12% left on my phone.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Number
God.
one.
I think we'll be fine now.
And
I
guess
don't even know what
what?
mine is.
By process of elimination, it's the best picture. It's the one that got best picture.
Once upon a time in a
Part 2.
Precious.
So,
Based on the novel Push by
Harriet.
Sapphire.
Choose. Nominated for something.
That's okay.
The song.
It was a good one.
She was nominated for actress.
Stand
Oh, yeah.
up.
That was a good song.
Put your arms
We're not
around
okay.
me.
Okay.
It's not how this one goes.
number 1 is Parasite.
Parasite.
The best movie of the year, the best movie of the decade, possibly the best movie in my lifetime.
Well,
We've seen
Kaylina, we know you hate it, so just chill.
We've only seen it twice. We need to watch
We
it.
won. We almost bought it on Blu-ray. I decided to get shoes instead because I am a shoe whore. I don't even wear more shoes
No.
than these
Yeah.
and my checkered ones, but like I love shoes. I mean, like
It's like
Kylie
look at
Jenner.
shoes.
You can only wear one pair of shoes at one time, and it just sucks.
I agree.
Okay, I have lots of shoes, and I
Okay,
can't
My
wear
mom
them.
okay.
tells me to cycle out my shoes.
Okay,
I'm
you
like,
What
do
are we
need to
talking-
cycle out your
what are we
shoes.
no,
talking
you
about?
wear one pair of shoes too. Don't lie to me.
I wear 3 pairs of shoes, and I cycle them out.
Aye.
Okay,
Alright.
let's
But they're for
start
different
with
situations.
Yes.
how
I
So
do
we
that
started with Parasite because it's the best, so we got to talk about it the most, right? Right. Okay.
we watched
It's
this
the best.
movie, and
Wait, but no. Why did you watch it? Like, what did you?
recommendation from Adam.
Damn it.
I'm kidding.
It was.
Oh, it wasn't. I thought it was.
Well, it was.
I mean, honestly, it was because everybody was talking about
See,
it.
I didn't hear anything
okay.
about
I didn't
it.
hear
I
anything.
didn't know anything about it. Logan had a list of movies that Sardana Cast talked about, not recommended, just that they talked about that he was interested in.
Mm-hmm.
And he let me pick up from his list which one I was interested in, and I love Asian films, Korean. I mean, I like Japanese too, so I couldn't really. But I was like, okay, Korean. I also thought it was going to be a horror because a lot of the times Korean films are kind of like thrillery.
Mm-hmm.
But then I read the description and I was like, this doesn't sound like a horror,
You
but
read
you
the
know what? We'll
description.
watch it.
You never read the description.
He doesn't read the descriptions. Well, he doesn't let me read the descriptions, but I read it. Well, I read it because I was trying to decide between two, I think. So I read it and I was like, okay, this actually doesn't sound like the one I want to watch. But, I mean, we ended up watching all of them anyways. It's just like, this was one that I was like, oh, I'm interested in it because it sounds like a horror.
I don't remember if this was after the nominations came out or before, but y'all had texted me or Snapchatted me, either one. And it was like, oh my god, you have to watch this movie. Mostly Kaylina.
Hold on a second.
Why didn't she put on low power mode?
You whispered into this thing. Okay.
Anyway, mostly Kaylina was like, you have to watch it. It's so good. I love it. So I go to watch it, and I love this story, so I have to tell it again. I didn't know anything about it besides it was Korean. And all the Korean movies that we've watched together I've really liked. So I go to watch it, and my nephew was like, I can't wait to watch it with you tonight. And I was like, oh, it's probably a horror movie. And he doesn't speak Korean. I was like, no, I was like, it's in Korean, you can't watch it. And he was like, well, how are you going to watch it? And I said, it has subtitles, I can read it, but you can't read that fast yet. And he was like, well, you can just read it to me. And I said, no, I'm not going to do that. And then I told him, I was like, it's a horror movie. You're not allowed to watch it because he's 7. And then he now believes that I can speak Korean. So when we went to a Mexican restaurant, I don't know if I told y'all this part. We went to a Mexican restaurant a couple of days later, and they were playing music and they were singing in Spanish. He was like, why do they sing in Spanish? And I was like, that's the language that some people speak here. You know, they speak different languages than us, and they sing in different languages than us. And he was like, just like you can speak Korean? And I said, I can't speak Korean. What are you talking about?
He's going to go around telling people that you can speak Korean.
And I'm going to be screwed.
Yeah. Well, my sister has yet to watch it because she apparently can read at the speed of a 7-year-old.
Oh, Jesus.
So.
Yeah, she was just refusing.
Yeah. And then my dad watched it, and he's like,
but I mean, like,
WATF. What F?
Well, your dad's wrong, and America agrees.
Why didn't your dad like it? Did he say?
Oh, I mean, he was just like, well, I don't know, maybe it's because it was unexpected that it was in Korean, but I just didn't get it.
Oh. Well, I loved it. It was great. It was
literally
up and
so
down and funny and.
That's what I tell everyone. I don't have many friends, but like, no matter what kind of movie that you
should have
like.
told your friend at work.
Which one?
I forgot her name again.
Yvonne?
Yvonne.
I don't know. She barely can speak English. I don't know if she'd be able to read the subtitles. I guess she could get Spanish subtitles.
Spanish, yeah.
That's true. Yeah, that's a good point.
That's a good point. I'll keep that in mind. So, anyways, I always tell some people, like, no matter what, like, genre you're into, this movie is for you.
What would you...
A little bit of everything.
What would you put it as? What genre?
If I had to pick one?
Well, I'll do 2.
drama comedy.
That's what I was gonna say.
A dramedy.
Mm-hmm.
That's one.
No.
So basically,
See, I would have called it a drama mystery, which is what it's listed as.
Mystery.
I can see mystery.
Because I definitely thought it was
had comedy.
Yeah, it definitely had.
But
both.
the comedy was so subtle.
Yeah.
See, the thing is, to me,
Like that
it's
scene
not...
with the blood when he lifts up the napkin, I died.
Oh God, that was the best. One of the best.
But also,
anything.
like, I don't know. I just love, like, everything about this movie. Like, when it was done, I was just like, I actually loved that movie. Like, because I never expect to, like, start on cast movies, honestly. Just because I don't want to get my hopes up, and I'm usually disappointed if I get my hopes up. But sometimes there's, like, ones that I just really like, and that's fine. I like it that way. Anyway, I was not expecting to like it, and I just loved it, and and then we, like, watched those videos on YouTube that were, like, basically people, like, picking apart every detail of the movie and, like, bringing up, like, things that you would never even think about, like, I mean, you're gonna have to, like, give me an example of that. Like, Class. I mean, like, I don't know. We've had so many discussions on this. I feel like I'm repeating myself about all this.
How elevation directly relates to class in the film. Like,
yeah, like...
The Parks live on a hill, and these... What was it? Kims?
Yeah, I think so.
Mr.
The Kims lived in a basement, like...
Well, they didn't live in a basement. See, this is the YouTube video. It was like they lived where they had a small window where they could see outside, and then the people that lived in the basement were, like, even lower, and that was, like, a very big symbolism when, like, Mr. Kim had to go to the basement. It was just, like...
Yeah, that's true. They were, like, high enough to see the, like...
Yeah, they're on, like, ground level, like...
So they could look upwards and see that there are people above them and, like, aspire to that, but mostly just be jealous.
Yeah. Oh, and then, like... Oh my gosh, I love it. And then
so metaphorical.
Speaking of that exact, like, class elevation thing in the YouTube video I watched, it was talking about, well, first of all, I love this part of the movie where it's like, one day I'll get rich enough and buy that house, and, like, they play it out so you think that it actually happens, but like it doesn't. It's just a dream or, like, an aspiration. But at the end of his letter to his dad, he said, like, all you'll have to do is walk up the stairs. Up, like, go up. Yeah. So, Kim Jong, whatever his name is.
Kim Jong?
That was racist as fuck. Okay, we're gonna cut that out. Bong Joon-ho. I know his name.
Kim Jong, whatever his name is.
We just were talking about the Kims. Bong Joon-ho is just, like, a genius, and, like, I feel like because it's in a different language, people don't understand the, like, deepness of it.
Yeah.
But it's honestly, like, so much deeper than, like, so many movies, obviously. Like, it's
also just so incredibly entertaining. Like,
yeah, it's like, how could you ever get
such a fun movie all the way through. Like, and towards the beginning, it's almost like a goofy, like, comedy.
Yeah.
But, like, really clever. And then towards the end, it's, like, more of a thriller, like...
And then there's
what
that,
the
like,
hell?
But there's something where, you know, like, I feel like this was in one of those videos I watched that was just, like, at some point, it just, like, ends. Well, it's, like, they have these, like, plotting to get into the house, but then they're there. They're comfortable. They're sitting around on their couch, like, oh, we've made it. And you know, first of all, the fact that it's only, like, halfway through the movie, or maybe a little less, I don't remember. But you just know, like, something's gonna happen. Like, what would the rest of the movie be? But also just, like, this is, like, they're too comfortable. And you know something's gonna happen, and then it's just, like, a doorbell. And the whole thing goes, like, totally chaotic for the next, like, well, the rest of the movie, I would say. But, like...
Yeah.
And then, like, after that, all that chaos where, like, first of all, you see these 3 now levels of, like, class and stuff. You just see, like, the middle at least Mr. Kim, getting just like hating the upper even more.
Mhm.
Like he's like, I don't know.
And the smell thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I was about to say, I love that detail.
That was just like the most heartbreaking thing, because that's like notable. That's
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
thing that exists.
I also was-
like, people know about that.
Yeah. Like comparing or similar to that in that video that I watched. I love talking about videos that I watch. Instead of making my own, whatever you call it. I just find it interesting because I would have never thought about it like this, but like the scene literally like, well, not literally, but like the day after that flood,
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Kim is driving Mrs. What's her name?
Park.
Mrs. Park around to run her errands to get ready for the son's party. And she's like, the whole time she's like on her phone, talking to her friends, inviting them. She's like, oh, the rain like inconvenienced us basically. Like we had to cancel the camping trip. So now
Yeah.
we'll do a party in our backyard. Just a little thing. And Mr. Kim literally just like, his life was just ruined because of the rain, and it's like this huge like class. I mean, the whole movie's basically about class differences, but like that's like a huge thing especially in his turn of feelings towards them.
Mm-hmm.
Was like, wow, they're just so privileged and they don't even know it.
Mm-hmm.
So it won. I can't find it.
Best picture, best original screenplay, best director, best foreign.
International. Yeah, there's 4. Yeah. There it
Oh,
is.
there's only 4. I mean,
Yeah.
just got them all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So best writing, best directing.
Best picture and best international.
Best movie.
Did you guys notice? I heard about this afterwards, and I didn't notice it during the actual awards. Apparently, they kept saying Bong Joon-ho's name weird. I didn't even catch that when I first saw it, but I listened to it again. They kept saying Pong. They were like Pong Joon-ho,
Oh, I don't
like
remember
over pronouncing the P, and I was like, "What?
Interesting.
is this?" Yeah, I don't know.
I will say
Is there
after
a P in his name?
No.
It's like a weird, like
It's
Korean thing?
yeah. Basically, if you're pronouncing his name in like the Korean fashion, it would be kind of a
Pong.
mix of the two.
Pong.
Yeah, Bong. I don't know.
Yeah, but like we don't speak Korean, so we can't.
Yeah,
Like, it's just
very
like saying,
difficult
like,
to replicate.
Rodriguez, like
Rodriguez.
Rodriguez, Alejandro Rodriguez. No, it's Alexander Rodriguez.
Costa Rica.
What just happened?
I have no idea. Something fell.
You okay?
So they made history. First
yeah.
foreign film to win Best Picture.
Oh my gosh, babe, tell
That's
her
amazing.
about how pissed some like weird people were.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
He needs to send you the
It
video.
was like mainly it was it was Charlie's video where he was reacting to a couple of different people online. Like one guy made a giant YouTube video about it, another guy like had a string of tweets. But basically people were just like upset that a Korean guy won Best Picture. Like it was like he was like
This one guy kept making the point.
Yeah, he was like, if you are an international film, you shouldn't be able to be up for Best Picture at the same time. Only an international film. You shouldn't, because American films don't get second chances at a Best Film award.
And then he kept using 1917 as an example.
Oh,
1917 isn't an American movie. I mean, it didn't. Okay, here's the thing about that whole Best International Film thing that makes me mad. 1917 wasn't in there because it's not foreign language. It's still foreign language films.
That's true.
You know?
Yeah.
It's not international, it's foreign language, but they changed it to be less offensive or something. I don't know. I mean, I don't know the reason, but like, there's a British movie in Best Picture but not in Best International. It's like, was it the Best Picture but not a Best International? It just like whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. I totally disagree. I mean, how could you, if you watch the Oscars, how could you see that man on stage and not want him to win everything?
That was another thing. He hadn't even seen Parasite.
Oh yeah, he didn't even watch Parasite.
Of course he didn't,
He's like,
obviously.
I don't know anything about it, but I mean, Joker.
Oh god. Now don't get me wrong, that was my top pick. But
it's just the way
it was like he clearly was the type of person who doesn't have an actual interest or opinion in film.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He just saw Joker, got real excited about it, and wanted it to
and
win.
not that Joker's not a good movie or whatever. Like, clearly it's up for Best Picture.
Yeah.
For a reason.
Mm-hmm.
But, there are probably people that watched the Oscars and didn't watch all of the movies and just were like, yeah, Joker. And it's like, yeah, but you didn't watch all of the movies.
Yeah.
Like, you just wanted to see Joker because it was, like, the most mainstream.
Like, I watched almost everything, and the only thing I was mad about winning was Elton John's song. Like, everything else I was like, yeah, it makes sense. Like, I'm totally fine with that.
Exactly.
For sure.
And that's, like, the thing is, like, honestly, we talked about this. If any of the movies, except for 1917, won Best Picture, I would not have been mad. I might have been, like, disappointed or confused. But, like, all of them were pretty solid this year.
Sure.
And that's why, like, when he's, like, talking crap about all of them, but then he'll only bring up Joker, that's my point, is, like, he clearly doesn't actually, like, care about the quality of movies. He just liked the Joker, which is, like I said, fair. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
But if you didn't even see a movie, you can't talk about why it shouldn't have won something. Like,
be educated.
Well, we only have 3% left, so we should probably try to wrap things up. I would like to finish things by talking about snubs, and really, to me, the only significant. We didn't.
Okay.
Yeah, the only significant snub to me, I think.
Yeah, we looked up movies.
Midsummer.
Oh, you mean out of nomination?
Yeah.
Like, not nominated at all?
Yeah, not nominated at all. And...
Well, you can't even talk about Greta, whatever, being snubbed because her movie was up for Best Picture. And adapted screenplay, like, clearly...
Yeah, I could have seen her getting nominated, but I'm not going to get upset about it. I don't think she was snubbed
because she got something that would recognize... I mean, she didn't win anything, but just her nom is good.
Yeah.
She got stuff that would recognize her quality.
But Midsummer...
I mean, I haven't seen a lot of movies that were in 2019 besides what was nominated, so I don't.
Well, we literally just looked up a list of, like, movies that came out in 2019, and we just, like, looked through it, and, like, literally none of them were either popular.
I mean, what about Knobs Out?
I mean,
it did get a nod for best screenplay, and I don't really know how much it deserved other than that. Maybe, honestly, the costumes were pretty awesome to me. But
I thought so too.
Basically, the biggest snub was Midsummer because honestly, it probably could hit every single category almost. Like
the technical skill that went into creating everything in that film was amazing.
And, like, you and me talked about this, like, okay, not everybody likes Midsummer. It's, like, not for everybody.
Yeah.
You don't even necessarily have to say, oh, it's a great movie or one of the best movies of the year.
No.
But it had, like you said, technically had, like, so many good things.
Such a beautiful film in every single way.
Even if it was just a nod.
Yeah.
Like a nomination that didn't win anything. But the only reason it got snubbed is because it's considered a horror. But it honestly was more of a drama, like thriller drama, than a horror. was a little dark.
Smashing faces and stuff. That's
I mean,
probably-
yeah.
It was a
that's
little
fair.
dark.
Yeah.
I guess it had a little more gore than I, because I'm not really that like bothered by it.
I mean, yeah, I wasn't either.
Yeah. I mean, the movie doesn't go out of its way to be scary,
Exactly. It's just like,
but I mean, it's just it's so beautiful. I mean, the May Queen outfit, like that is an amazing
which
costume.
we noticed Janelle Monáe
Yeah.
Put it in her
wearing.
act.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So either she thought it was snubbed or like somebody
Who designed
wanted
it or
to-
whatever.
Exactly. Like her team wanted to like nod to it because they liked it.
Oscars.
See, I wasn't
They were like-
thinking that.
They were
I
like,
wasn't-
people are going to be mad about Midsummer. Let's just throw it a
No,
ball.
I don't know if I would agree.
I don't
with
think
that.
they would either. I think they would have, if they would have had the choice, they would have been like, no, nothing about Midsummer.
Yeah, like I almost feel like they would have like been like no, because that makes them look bad or something. Like
I don't know.
I don't know. But okay, costume design, production design, because there was all those like intricate paintings on the
Mhm.
walls.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like fields, which doesn't really seem.
Did
like
you see
part of
Ma?
Production design. Ma?
Yeah,
No.
I didn't either. Just wondering.
Cinematography.
Oh, cinematography, score,
Oh.
acting from the girl,
Mm-hmm.
Flo.
Florence.
My
Good
girl
old
Flo.
Yeah.
I
And
mean, honestly, I thought
everybody did.
I
pretty
thought
good.
that, yeah, like,
The weird.
I don't
guy,
know if every single person would be like,
weird guy that
good
was
enough.
vaping all the time. He did well.
I don't think everybody was good enough to be like best
No.
best actor, best actress, but like they all did good.
I don't.
Like even all the cult people like played that so well.
Yeah.
I don't know if I looked through all of them, but yeah, I didn't see anything.
Yeah, I looked through like for a while and I really didn't see anything that I thought like really could have been up to the par of these.
All right. We done?
I
I
guess.
feel like I'm the only one that talked about Midsummer.
That's not true.
That
I thought it
face.
was great. And
Yeah.
what it says about relationships, I thought was very poignant. The grief comparisons are very obvious. Those were also good, but the sort of juxtaposition between that and an unhealthy relationship also dying was really, I thought that was a great sort of sneaky message there. I thought that was cool. But yeah. Everybody good?
Yep.
I just want to talk about Parasite more.
Thanks for listening. This was the inaugural episode of what's it called again?
Family meeting.
The
working
haven't decided
title.
on title. We got it. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.